Hey, I'm Marty from the Filmshaveeyes, and I'm actually about to become a father in a few days, which is insane. So I thought, what better way to prepare myself than to watch a fucked up evil kid movie? So that's what I did. I watched a movie called Mikey from 1992. It's directed by Dennis Dempster Dank. Whew, hell of a name. And starring Brian Bonzel as Mikey. Famous child actor from the show Family Ties with Michael J. Fox. He was also in Disney's Blank Check. And here he is right here, looking really innocent. So what's Mikey about? Mikey is about a kid who's getting new adoptive parents because his previous family was completely wiped out. I don't know what happened. It couldn't have been Mikey, right? Spoiler alert, it was. The movie stacks up a hell of a body count in the first 6 minutes. So pretty impressive. So anyway, they say it was a bunch of unexplained accidents. The police show up and they find Mikey in the closet looking innocent, like, oh, I don't know what happened. Mommy and Daddy and Sister and Fluffy all stopped breathing at the same time. Blink, blink. I just want to be loved. And the cops were like, sounds good to me. What do you look like? What, did you see him? He ends up seeing a child psychologist, and he plays him like a fiddle. Like, the psychologist doesn't realize he's being duped by this really smart kid, and just comes to the conclusion that, like, Mikey just needs love. And they end up finding him a couple of new parents, and here they are, Neil and Rachel. So they meet him here at the airport, and, Mikey is on his best behavior, obviously. They go down to the baggage claim to get his backpack. And with his backpack is his aluminum bat that he took with him, and it still has a dent in it from when he bashed someone's head in. And the dad is like, oh, so you like baseball? Are you a good pitcher?
Yeah, but I'm a better hitter.
And it's just a nice little moment, like, oh, you son of a bitch. And so anyway, they take him home and show him the house, and Mikey is dazzled. They got like a big fish tank aquarium. So Mikey's like, wow, can I take care of the little fish? And the mother, Rachel, is like, sure. And then he meets his teacher, which I guess is like a friend of the family's. So this teacher is played by Ashley Lawrence from the Hellraiser movies. And her and Mikey have like a fun exchange, like, oh, don't think I'm going to let you get off easy just because I'm friends with your mom. That kind of thing. And Mikey's like, I know. And he immediately makes a little friend, this kid named Ben, and they hit it off, and they go running off to do adventures or whatever, and get into mischief. And Ben actually takes him to the cemetery in one scene and sort of dares him to go inside, like, come on, let's cut through the cemetery, unless you're a chicken. And Mikey's like, nah, that's fine. And he goes right inside, like, ain't no thing. And, lies on top of someone's grave and says all this morbid shit while Ben's looking at it like, oh, I don't know if I made a good friend here. This might have been a bad idea. And wouldn't you know it, Ben has an attractive older sister named Jessie. There's Jessie right there. And of course, Mikey takes an instant liking to her. So he hatches a plan that he's going to play dead in front of her. And then, with her little brother's encouragement, she ends up doing CPR on Mikey and basically tricks her into kissing him. And, she realizes it's a prank, and they sort of laugh it off, and she says, you're a pretty good kisser, Mikey. And it's kind of gross, because the obvious age difference. He's probably like 10, and she's like 17 or something. And you would think she wouldn't want to see this little cretin around at this point, but she lets him hang out with her. And Mikey is such a creep, he sneaks into her bedroom one night just to look at her. And then Jessie has a dopey boyfriend who obviously is going to pose a threat to Mikey, and Mikey sees him as an obstacle that'll have to dispose of. It's like, you get the gist of it, right? Like, all these evil kid movies kind of follow the same cliches. You know the kid is going to do something horrible to an animal. He's going to draw some morbid shit, and the teacher's going to see it, and she's going to try to alarm the principal. Like, look what this little kid is drawing. And the principal's like, what, that? Come on. I used to draw shit like that all the time. All right, so here's what I liked about Mikey. First of all, Bryan Mathews is really good in the role. He's very convincing when he turns up the anger. It doesn't feel robotic or forced. I don't think he quite pulls off like the innocent, charming part of it where he's manipulating everybody. I feel like it's really easy to see through, but man, he's actually pretty scary when he when he gets into kill mode. And in a really disturbing twist, he films his kills and then watches it later. And this is real serial killer shit. Like, there's a couple of scenes where he's like watching his former parents get murdered, and he's just like, like he's watching Simpsons reruns or something. And you're like, God, man, it's so messed up. They introduced the detective really early on in the movie, and thankfully we don't get a bunch of scenes that pad out the movie with the cops trying to figure things out. Like, they don't go back to the detective until like near the end of the movie, which is awesome. So most of the action focuses on Mikey. But with that said, the movie starts off with such a bang. Like, it sets expectations so high, but it doesn't really tease you enough or gives you enough to chew on in the second act. It's just way too much setup, and there's no real mayhem again until the third act. But boy, does it deliver, I gotta say. And, I've been careful not to spoil any of the deaths. I don't really want to go into the methodology or what he does, because there's some really good stuff. All right, lowlights. Moving on. Yeah, and there's this scene. I don't know what it is about kid actors being in the same room with like a naked actress. It's just like, ugh. I mean, good deal for him, but it just really makes it uncomfortable when some 10-year-old is peeping some older woman's boobs. Mikey is a really solid evil kid movie. As far as how it ranks against the other ones, it's not as good as a lot of them. Because there's so many good ones. The Omen, Bloody Birthday. I think The Good Son even edges this one out. Even though Bryan Mathews' performance is really good in this, and the kills are really vicious and a lot of fun, especially in the last 15 minutes of the movie and the first 15 minutes of the movie. And there's some fun stuff here and there in the middle, but there's just not enough chaos. I think The Good Son has a little bit of an edge because the middle of the movie is fun because, Macaulay Culkin is taking Elijah Wood around and pressuring him into doing horrible things. I think this movie would have been better off doing something like that because the friend character kind of gets dropped and it just becomes about Mikey's obsession with his older sister. Now, I wish he got into more trouble. It would have made this movie kind of, keep moving, but oh well. It's really entertaining. It doesn't, fully satisfy in the middle of the movie, but, that's typical for any horror movie. I had a lot of fun with this one, and it just put me in the right mood to have a kid on the way. I'm just like, bring it, man. I'll raise an evil child. And now I'll leave you with some of my favorite evil kid impressions.
Please, Daddy, no! Please, Daddy, no! Mommy! Malachi, you will not be forgotten! You all shall feel his wrath!
Dead people aren't the ones to be scared of. Living people are. Don't fuck with me. I'll give you $5 if I can throw a rock at you.
She wants you to pass the bread and butter.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe. Check out our other videos. Check out our website. We put a lot of effort into our website. You can find out about our show. And there's a bunch of funny webcams, which are almost like little short films on the website. We're just trying to, spread the word and find our way into the horror community, which we love so dearly. So, thanks for watching. Oh, and I almost forgot, Village of the Damned.